southbound. I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's up, guys? Christian and Tony back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast.
Video version!
And as you can see, we got video up and running. Meant to have that for the Travis Thompson podcast last week, but we were having some audio issues. But today we have on a reoccurring guest, Ryan Burnett from Pattern Pros. If you're an OG listener, and it's probably been a year now, but you'll remember that podcast with Ryan and kind of have a or you'll know what Pattern Pros is about. But for y'all that haven't heard, Ryan, would you mind giving people a quick intro on Pattern Pros and who you are, and kind of just a refresher, I guess, for people that heard the original podcast?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, good to see you boys again. Well, and
thank you.
Yeah, so Pattern Pros. We are the only people doing what we're doing. And some people say it's kind of a pain in the ass, which it is, but it is. I think we've got a chance to change the way people hunt with a shotgun, and potentially a rifle forever. So what we did was we created variety packs of shotgun shells. Waterfowl is 8 different shells with 3 of each in one box. So 24 shells in one box, allowing you to try out a bunch of different shells without spending a ton of money and actually find the shell that patterns best. And not only will it pattern, some guns and certain shells don't like each other, so they're also not going to cycle. So you got that first shot off, and we've all done it where it goes click, that next one, where that's something else that can also be alleviated well before the hunt. So 24 shells in a box. And actually, to really get to spend a little bit of time behind the gun, you spend so much other time and a ton of money on everything else other than when the time that matters most. And it doesn't have to be an expensive shell. It doesn't it can be just something off the shelf that, for whatever reason, sometimes will shoot best. And then we took the same approach for turkey. So turkey is 5 different shells, with 1 of each in a single box. So our boxes, so we got our Pattern Pros Turkey Edition box right there, and then our good old Waterfowl boxes right there. They're old retro
Dude, those
duck.
are sick looking. I love that.
So yeah, I love the retro duck. So
yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, we got some other stuff coming out. And I cannot wait to unveil it.
Well, man, we're excited to kind of dive into it. The last time we talked, it was right off the heels of Delta had put you guys in the magazine, and obviously there was some good buzz. And I know you guys just went to the Delta Waterfowl Expo this year, so I'm curious to know, how the momentum of the company is going. What kind of since then, I mean, has it just kind of kept snowballing? And then also, how was the Delta Expo for y'all?
Yeah, well, I'll hit the Delta stuff first. It was people-wise, it was a lot less foot traffic than last year in Baton Rouge. So Oklahoma City, it was a lot less people, but honestly, it felt like we still had somebody in the booth like almost the entire time, either talking with us, buying stuff, or friends stopping by. So it was really good. We did probably about 50% more business this year than we did last year, so that was pretty cool. Awesome. But I mean, every time I'd be out walking around and would come back, there'd still be somebody else at the booth. So it was not a whole lot of sitting around. It was nonstop. So that was pretty cool. Made some more good connections. And the kind of the next push was getting outfitters involved. Yeah. So started to talk quite a bit of outfitters about it. And I'm like, well, you guys shoot, probably more than anybody if their guides are shooting, which a lot of them do. So before you just go spend, $10,000 or however many thousands of dollars you're going to spend on shells, don't just go buy the best deal, the cheapest shell. I was like, try this out and then go find your best deal. Mm-hmm. So that was cool to have that. So we've got a couple of those on board. So the show was awesome. We had a blast. It's always good to see your buddies that you're really only going to see about once a year anyways.
Right.
And the snowballing is really is getting cool. I remember it was probably October last year. I mean, it was orders coming in every, one or two pretty much every single day. And I remember Christian texting our group text. He's like, "Boys, like I'm getting excited," and it's really cool. And so like I do all of our shipping. Like you can see a bunch of ammo here behind me, and so I send stuff across like the entire country. So when we first started, it was like you had a couple states that obviously we had a little bit of a footprint in, and now it's nationwide. So it's like. It's really cool that we're starting to get that name out there. People are talking. They're telling their buddy about it. And the people who I've talked to who have shot stuff or had a box, whether it was turkey or waterfowl, they're like, dude, it was awesome. It was an eye-opening experience. I truly found something that my gun and choke really agreed with. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm already doing my job. I'm already helping them. They're bringing home more ducks or a turkey, and I'm helping prevent crippled birds.
Right.
So it's dude, boys, I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, here in a few years, like I can retire from the fire service and do this completely full time. So it's like I'm thinking about it more and more every single day. So it's I can't help but just be excited about it.
Dude, I love that because I mean, I think for so many of us in the outdoors, like, I mean, it's no different than why we're doing this podcast and why we do the YouTube and everything else. It's like it's almost like a little bit of like a pipe dream. It feels like a lot of times to like kind of reach that point where you could. I mean, honestly, just a goal would be nice to make a little side money. You know what I mean? And then it's like to supplement your income and be able to make that your full-time thing. I think that's like the dream for all of us. I think, to see y'all close to being able to do that, I think is awesome. I mean, seems like you guys are really great guys, so it's exciting to see.
Well, and isn't it crazy? Like when you truly come up with an innovative idea, it just kind of takes care of itself. You know what I mean? I mean, so kudos to y'all. I mean, that's just very innovative thinking, problem solving, really.
Yeah, truly problem solving, yeah.
Well, Marine Corps adapt and overcome.
That's right. That's right.
Usually stuck. Yeah. Usually stuck with the crappiest stuff. So they're just like, I don't know, figure it out. So I'm excited, but I can see like a bittersweet ending of sorts where it's like, it's so cool to have somebody come up to me and, you tell them what you're doing and they kind of look at you like, you guys are doing what? Or like, damn, like, why didn't I think of that? And I'm like, all right, we obviously have a long ways to go before I've reached, everybody, which is never going to happen. But I'm like, all right, we have a long ways to go with every little footprint.
This fall, elevate your outdoor pursuits with Williamson Outfitters, offering professionally guided experiences along Florida's Forgotten Coast. Whether it's coastal duck hunting, inshore fishing, gator hunting, or flounder gigging, every Williamson Outfitters experience is guided by a seasoned, licensed captain, delivering world-class adventure with local expertise. From small private groups to large corporate retreats, our fleet of well-equipped boats and experienced guides deliver first-class outdoor adventures for sportsmen of all ages and experience levels. Call or text 850-251-8650 or visit www.floridaducks.com to book your trip. Williamson Outfitters, making the Forgotten Coast unforgettable.
Little footprint that I can lay down, and I'm like, I can't wait for that day where it's like we are brand name or a household name, whatever you want to say it.
Sure.
And I'm like excited for that, but at the same time, it'll be like bittersweet, where it's like, well, people know who you are now, and it's like it's not as that like ooh and ah feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, like it's been so much fun. Like we've been going for operational for just over 2 years now, and really like the last year and a half has been the bulk of it. It's been so much fun. And now when I go on, if I go on a hunt trip or when we go to Delta, it's like everything's a freaking tax write off. And I'm like, I buy ammo. I'm like, oh, tax write off, like without a shadow of a doubt. So I was like, well, this is great. And like, I'll tell the wife, but hey, I'm gonna go hunt, and I'm like, it's a tax write off. She goes, yeah, I know. And I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, I did it.
Speaking of hunts, man, we got to get you on that veteran hunt this year.
Yeah,
dude, I was like, I told you, like the only reason I couldn't go was the fact that one of those days I was taking my oldest on she was on a youth hunt, and I was like,
dude,
I was so excited.
Dude, we did some America shit.
I will
Dude,
say
we did, dude. I'll be telling you, me and those other vets. Let me tell you, number one, it tested you physically.
Mm-hmm.
So like you almost had to be ex-military to endure it, or be the son of one.
I don't know. You just got to be crazy to be a duck hunter, then.
Dude, it was
that weather sucked ass, dude.
It was horrible. Like I mean, like I don't get cold. Like I really don't. I feel like my skin's just gotten.
I think he's got freezer burn.
Yeah, or something.
Whatever, frostbite.
Yeah, it's all the years. Like all the years as like a kid, my stepdad would be like, "Don't get out of the goddamn tree stand," and I'd be like, "But I got Kmart rubber boots on. It's 12 degrees. I don't give a shit." You know what I mean? Piss your pants. You know, I remember one time I peed my pants and it froze to my boot. It went down out my pant leg, and I was like 12, and he told me I couldn't get down, so I just had no choice, and I wasn't smart enough to carry anything up there with me yet. But
you're almost like a little punch drunk, where it's just like
right?
You're like, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't. How bad can it be? You're just like,
that's right.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it was also super short notice too when we brought it up.
Yeah, dude. But no, listen on a rice field, bro. As many ringnecks that you could ever pray for, just falling into your spread like they said, today's the day that I just must die.
It was really weird.
I mean, like it got to the point where I was like, when I'd see big ducks, I wouldn't even call the shot on birds that are breaking in the spread. I mean, but we basically picked out all drakes. People they took home 4 or 5 mounters, big old fat freaking blackjacks, dude. They were great.
It was weird because I mean you don't see a lot of divers out of rice fields.
I was gonna say that's not what I would expect. Like
no,
rice field. I'm like, oh okay, like 6 inches of water.
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, it was like real flooded. Like,
tell them about the review of the footage. Tell them that story.
Oh yeah. So basically, it was like 4.5 foot deep, like out in front of the blind. And then there's like a levee, so you could like get to the blind, but like, so you walk down this levee, and there's probably 2 foot of water over the levee, or 1.5 foot.
Yeah.
And so, basically, the decoys that were floating were like barely floating before they would,
float off.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was reviewing the footage, and I just thought.
Well, there was this time where there were some big ducks coming.
Yeah.
And I told everybody, hey, we're gonna shoot. Keep an eye on these big ducks. They're like, these other ones are break. I said, I don't give a shit. Listen, we're waiting for some big ducks. I mean, we've been shooting like Drake blackjacks at will, and these big ducks break, and then I remember that happening, and then some ducks flew into the spread, and some guys, and if you're listening to this,
no, you got that kind of wrong, but
didn't they fly into the all right, so tell the story.
Yeah, so no, it was just like there was ducks everywhere. Now that did happen with those big ducks or whatever, but that's not what I filmed. So there were some ducks that flew, like, there are ducks flying everywhere, but like I remember at one point filming and being like, man, those are some big ducks, but I just wrote them off. They got to be mallards or whatever. I've never seen a canvasback.
I was calling at them.
No, not these.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah. I was like,
Tony, just drink your beer.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, we've never shot a canvasback, never
No.
seen one in person. But I was looking over the footage, and sure enough, clear as day, because they have so much white on them, and they're so damn big. It was like probably 9 to 10 canvasbacks, and I'm just
And
like,
most of them are Drakes.
yeah.
Oh,
It just happened to be in video. I mean, now, it's not like we necessarily would have shot them, but it's like the fact that they were that close. I was like, man, that would have been cool.
Yeah. No, it was just an odd shoot. And we shot mostly all Drake ringnecks, and they were just beautiful and fat. And we shot some other stuff too. I mean, we shot I think we shot a couple teal. We shot freaking pintails. We shot.
It was like from you 6. It was like 31 ringnecks, 32 ringnecks, and like a few other ducks.
It got to the point of this. It was so freaking cold that I looked at everybody in there and I go, "Are we the type of people that we're like, all right, we've already shot plenty of ducks, had a show," because we did. It was a show. And I said, "Or are we the type of people that we're going to stay here until we get our 36? And they're all like, 36. And I'm like, all right, let's go then.
oh,
We
hey,
did
dude!
it.
If birds are flying, it better be a damn lightning storm or a tornado before I'm like,
Right.
all right, I'm at, like, no, I'm there to shoot stuff, and like people are like, well, it's more than about killing, and I'm like, I get it. Every time I go out hunting, I have the intention of going boom at something.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is. Like, I'm there
That's
to
right.
shoot something. I'm
That's right.
all about everything else. I'm shooting stuff until it's like no longer okay. It's like, all right, hey boys, we're done.
So this year, I know you were about to ask when it's coming up this year.
Yeah.
And no,
You got to be there, dude. It's a great time.
It's
The
always
only
that
thing
that first Saturday or Sunday.
And what we do also is that we snow goose hunt the next day.
Yeah, but anyway, it's
I was
gonna be first week of February.
first week, okay, because last year was the second week.
It's around.
It was. They put
was
it
it?
off a week last year. They
Did they?
did.
Yeah.
They sure did. Yep,
So
you're right.
The only if it's that first Saturday, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm down. I may have to work at an extra shift in overtime to cover that. But that following weekend, where I'm hoping we'll have a booth at NWTF.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's always
So we had an opportunity to go last year, but it was like so last minute that I was like, dude, I just didn't have enough time to get everything we needed together. I was like, it sucks. That's a huge opportunity.
Mhm.
Have you guys been to that?
No,
No.
not in years. I used to go when I was younger, but I haven't since we moved from the Midwest.
It is like we went. Christian went and walked around this year, and then we all went and walked around last year. And I remember last year, I was like, kind of in awe. There's so many people.
It's insane,
Where
dude.
it's like there were certain aisles that I would look down, and I was like, "There's too many people. I don't care." And like, unless they're giving away free guns, I was like, "I'm not going down there." It's insane with how many people are there. So, like, I told I think our church is having a mission trip to London like that same weekend. My wife looked at me. She goes, "Is that the same weekend?" I said, "Yeah." And she's helped out at the booth at Delta along with Christian's wife the last 2 years. And I was like, I need you there. Like I can't.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, especially at a show like that. So I hope we have a spot, because that's a spot to make some awesome connections and really make some money.
Well, I mean, I've two things. I mean, I've heard that it's awesome, and they said so. Donnie, the marketing guy at Frog Talks that we work with, he was saying that ducks was kind of feeling like NWTF in terms of like volume this year.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
He said they did.
There were times I looked down rows and did the same thing, bud.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. I was like, no, let's skip this row.
But with NWTF, it's so much closer. It's like 3.5 hours from us, and it's in Nashville. So I mean, I know from it's got to be a blast just from a networking standpoint, you know.
Oh yeah, like the NWTF is last year was when I officially talked with every single ammo company, and it was like we were already like up and running. But it was like the hominis dominus from like all the ammo companies. They were like, "This is awesome! Like, cannot like cannot wait to be a part of this.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
it was, I'll never forget, like, getting back to the hotel that night, and I'd sat down for like 10 minutes that whole day. Christian, like, we like got a pizza and I was like, I'm gonna sit down, and we ate, and it was like, but other than that, it was like just I was beelining to every possible person I needed to talk to. And I remember getting back to the hotel, and my wife's like, come on, like, we got to go to dinner. I said, give me a second. I took my boots off. I cracked a beer. I said, I'm just going to kind of revel in this. And my feet are pounding right now. So I was like, you're just going to have to give me a minute. And so it's those opportunities at NWTF, just with not even the vendors, but like the people you meet. Like I met, like, and at Delta this year, like, met a guy from Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. So we got involved with them. And then a couple different Delta chapters, one in Arkansas. I can't remember the others. But it's the amount of people you talk to is unbelievable, those things. So I'm really excited for it this year. I don't know if I'm just going to have to be like shotgunning energy drinks to like keep up. But it's going to be wild.
Well, you know, Ryan, I don't know if we might have talked about this last time, but if we didn't, and I'm giving you guys a great idea, then I only expect like, I don't know, like a 3% royalty on it, I guess. But,
what about a hug?
Yeah, bro. Hey, I want to feel your mustache. Give me a kiss on the cheek, baby. Come on. No, but for real, like, I'm just sitting, my brain's spinning, and I'm like, did you guys talk about like getting involved in like the hunter safety program, like youth programs?
Yeah.
I think we talked about that last time, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking, as like, I've got a kid sitting here at my, like, the ones who we actually go to the class, you know, which people, man, you get so much more out of it if you do it in person. But, you know, one of the things you walk away with is a Pattern Pro thing, and they're in their mind, they're walking away with, I'm crippling less birds. You know, and that's such a good practice to put in people that are just getting started, you know. So I can't remember if we talked about that. It seems like we did.
Yeah, I think we did, and that is still, for whatever reason, that's been a wall that I'm still trying to break through. I don't know if because I'm dealing with the government, which
that's always
worked for the government
difficult.
I worked for the government for like 12 years now in total. So it's
well, you know, the hurry up and wait that goes with that.
Why do you think I drink, Tony? And I keep telling people that right there, getting involved with the Hunter's Ed is something that puts your company, like, without a doubt in perpetuity, where it's they are going to know, and everybody who went through hunter safety, they're like, oh, we talked about patterning. It's like, yeah, but if you don't do it, one, you're never going to fully grasp it, and two, it's going to leave your mind. You're like, I don't know, they talked about it. I don't really know what they mean. Like, I still talk with adult hunters. Like, I don't know exactly how to do it. And I'm like, if you get kids and new hunters to do it from the get-go, they will know that it's truly important. And when they go do it, they will truly understand that there is a difference. It is not just a shotgun shell. And I unfortunately, like, I get a little fired up about the duck hunters who haven't been patterning the guns. With the more I've seen it, and they're more willing to go buy a T-shirt or a hat than they will to go actually kill more ducks. Sometimes I get frustrated, and I'm like, if you just go shoot some paper, like, to at least see what's happening.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm like, well, you may not suck as bad as you think you do. You may suck. I can't help you necessarily. But if you've got a mallard-sized hole in your pattern, you're just not going to be effective. You are going to cripple ducks. You're going to whip ducks.
Who wants to shoot at something to miss?
I don't get it. So, Tony, I've told I don't know how many people about this is stuck in my head. I can't remember what my wife said to me yesterday, but this reaction from you when I said the last time we were on the podcast, it was like, if you pattern your gun and you then shot less, your area of the swamp or marsh or whatever is going to be that much quieter. So now you are affecting everybody else within earshot, every duck that's within earshot, because you shot at a duck one time and he's dead. It's over with.
That's right.
You know, those ducks a couple hundred yards away may not have heard it, but you shooting 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, ducks just about everywhere are hearing it at that point. So
Right.
you and everybody talks about, birds are pressured. Well, it's like if you just went into your spot, banged them out real quick and then left, one, you might be able to go back to that spot the next morning because you in and out of there in an hour. I've done that. Where
Right.
it's like, hey, dude, let's come back tomorrow. Like, whatever.
Exactly.
And like went back next morning, freaking hammered him. It was like, all right, let's get the heck out of here. And it's like that little concept right there is just making your area quieter with less pressure ducks makes them easier to kill. So it's like,
compound that.
No doubt, yeah.
Compound that to you and your neighbor's property, the neighbors off the neighbors, the county, the
Yeah.
city. I mean, just seriously, field
The
over
flyway.
field. Jesus, the fly. I mean, think when you compound that, literally, you could. I'm just throwing a crazy number out there, but you could literally take like 1 million shots over a week or something throughout a whole flyway to half
333,000.
333,000.
Yeah,
Whatever.
one
No,
shell.
if you're using Powder Pros, 218,000. No, but for real, the point is that that's where it really affects it, right? Is that graduation over space, and again, less wounded birds. I mean, that's the
Well,
big thing,
so
right?
obviously, so the noise is obviously a huge factor when it comes to pressuring ducks. So you look at Arkansas, who is on public land, is then they outlawed like mud motors or something of the
Right.
sort.
Yeah.
So they obviously think that it's the noise is pressuring the ducks or bothering. Now you're starting to see suppressors
Mm-hmm.
on shotguns. Why do you think that is? More noise is obviously pressuring the ducks. So
That shit looks
you
funny,
just-
by the way. I just gotta say.
does.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, Tristan, please do
it's
us a
got to
reel
be
with
heavy.
that. Yeah, I
It's
saw
gotta be
Justin
heavy,
from
like-
Duck Commander did one. He said it's not heavy at all, and
I call BS that it's not.
yeah, it
like-
looks giant, dude. It looks like your football is
Well,
on the end of your shotgun
If you're
or
shooting,
something.
if you're shooting a heavy ass Benelli Nova like I am, a pump Nova, it's that gun alone's heavy. So I mean, yeah, saving any poundage I can there would be
It probably helps on your muzzle, any muzzle rise.
probably.
But so my last infantry unit, 3-5, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines out in Camp Pendleton, California. We were the experimental battalion, so everybody had suppressors, and so I had an M4, and having an M4 was great compared to the M16.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go put it on a suppressor on, which is cool. You don't have to wear ear pro. It's quiet. And then you're like, well, damn, it's just as long as the M16 and it's just as heavy again. So it may not, that suppressor for the shotgun, it may not be, heavy. It may be, 10 ounces or whatever it would be. But that's still like, you're still adding a significant amount of weight when you're only talking about, 6 or 7 pounds or however much a freaking shotgun's going to weigh.
Oh
So
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I can tell a big difference just like with archery equipment. Like, I think my bow now is a little over 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds, but like my previous bow was extremely light. Like I want to say in the high threes. Like, and that thing was like, I mean, that was nice. And then it's taken me a while just to adjust to that 3/4 pound difference. To your point.
It makes a big difference. And it's funny, people always talk about lighter is better, and yes, but at the same time, when something's too light, you're swinging harder. So I was on one of the Marine Corps shooting teams for Camp Pendleton, and so I got to do some of the action shooting, which was an absolute blast. I truly missed that. But then something I never got to do because I'd had shoulder surgery was the static stuff. So you're shooting all the way up to like 600 yards with the M16, and it's a much heavier rifle. And so you're doing a lot of stuff in the standing, and that rifle's, I don't remember how much heavier it was, but some of that weight will definitely help you, because once you get it locked into position, it's not swaying as easy. Whereas something that's only a couple pounds it's moving with ease.
Sure.
Dude, to speak to that, whenever I gave you the Benelli, and I went to my Frankie.
Or is it Frankie?
Frankie.
Oh.
Yeah, when I went
Frankie.
to it, say it right, Tristan. Anyway,
My bad.
when I went to
Take a lap.
That's right. Do some push-ups.
Yeah,
right.
right.
But honestly, when I went to that, I started shooting 3 feet in front of every bird. Tristan's doing push-ups right now, folks. 1, 2. Those look like Marine push-ups, bro. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what, these are respectable. I wish you could see this right now, folks. But they're respectable. He's keeping his back straight, butt in the air. That was pretty good.
I had something in
push-ups.
I had
That's
something
pretty
I had something inappropriate to say, but I kept it to myself.
No, say it.
I'm sure the wife appreciates those.
Yeah.
Or disappreciates it, depending on how you look at it.
One thing.
I mean, hold a plank for 1 minute. That's a long time, right?
Oh, bro, those days are. I hope I get those days back, but I'll be okay. I will say.
All right, here we go.
Little girly, I do Orange Theory. All right.
All right.
So, but what I will say is it whoops my ass. I burned like 700 calories.
Well, that's all you
an hour.
can ask for.
But,
Only thing whoops my ass anymore is your mom.
dude, when I do planks in there, I mean, shoot, 30 seconds, I'm like toast.
I tell my wife the same thing. 30 seconds and I'm toast.
So okay, back to the shooting thing. Is it true that Marines struggle shooting shotguns? I feel like that's a common myth.
I mean, we don't ever really do it. I only shot a shotgun. I think one time. It was a breaching shotgun. It was probably a freaking. I think it was a Mossberg pump. And you're shooting a slug from like 5-6 feet. Like, right. So we don't ever do any of that stuff. It's more of the machine gunners creed is something that I don't remember, but their motto was accuracy by volume. Just keep shooting. I shot rockets. So that was always, just get it close and it'll do their job.
I would much rather shoot rockets.
Oh, dude, if there was a civilian job that shot rockets, that's what I'd be doing. Like, I miss shooting rockets. My head and ears don't. I got a concussion from being around too many rockets. Oh yeah, it was pretty rough. We were testing a new rocket launcher for the Marine Corps. The Carl Gustav, and so we had 2 or 3 days of class, and then the assaultmen and a couple of the engineers. Sorry for any engineers out there, but and we went and shot. There was like a point system, like, hey, you can only be around. It was like 1,000 points, and it was like. Certain position, like if you were to lay down, you could shoot like 1 or 2 rockets in a day because of the percussion or whatever it is. And so in the kneeling position, I think you could be around like 4 or 5 in a day. Well, I shot 4 and was the assistant gunner for 2. So within a 24-hour period, I'm technically already over my allotment. Well, then I was close to I don't know, a couple dozen more. And I was far enough away. I was like, that night I was fine. Well, the next day, all the riflemen come out, and they had been in the class, but most of them had never shot a rocket before. So we're their PSO, their personal safety officer. So we're like right up there next to them, making sure they don't do anything stupid. And after I'd been around a dozen and a half, whatever it was, I started like flinch every single time. And I was like, I need to go sit down. All of us ended up being that way. Like, I almost missed my exit. driving home that night. Like
What?
my buddy couldn't figure out how to plug his PlayStation in. Yeah, I had an actual concussion from that, which is pretty common in that community. So it rocked my world. It was a blast though. I had so much fun. No pun intended.
No, yeah, I was about to say no pun intended. Oh man.
I've been a dad. I've been a dad a while. I've got the jokes down pretty good.
I would have, yeah, man. I bet transitioning to like civilian life from that, like, I mean, you'll never get to do that again, probably. You know what I mean? Like, so.
No, not unless Red Dawn 3 happens. Wolverines.
Dude, let me tell you something. We started that shit.
What?
The original Red Dawn movie.
The Sways.
Like, dude, that was like you took Breakfast Club and just took over the United States to shoot Russia. It's kind of like what it turned into. I think did it have Patrick Swayze in it? I think
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, the original
Charlie
was pretty
Sheen.
badass, honestly.
Dude, so good.
Yeah, it was
I watched
good.
it not too long ago.
Well, what felt real about it is, dude, that was during like you still didn't know if Russia was going to drop a freaking nuclear warhead on you, like for real. Like that could, like when they did the movie, it still could have happened. Like people could see that happening. That's what kind of made it so like wild whenever it came out.
Well, I haven't seen that movie, but it sounds like I need to.
What?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Dude, don't like
in the 80s during the
remake.
Cold War, all of a sudden Russia has a sneak attack move and comes over and starts taking over America.
What?
And you basically got to fend for yourself. And yeah, like all these great actors and actresses are in this movie, and they basically just get their own guns and shit and just start wiping out freaking a bunch of Russians.
That's
Start
crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's like
start
saving the
dropping
country.
commies.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they're like, you take that commie shit and get back across the river, bro.
Yeah, across the pond.
The Ruskies found out the hard way.
So what? Let me ask this, dude. So since we haven't had you on, we had last season. In between last season and this season, obviously you've had a waterfowl season ever since then. So what did that look like for you last year?
Nothing.
Did you guys even get any time to do anything?
I went, I don't know, a handful of times, and it was wildly unsuccessful. It just, I had a couple trips planned, and they all just, every single one of them pretty much fell through. Only killed a couple wood ducks here, and it was pretty sad. Yeah, I didn't have the time to go some places, and didn't have the time to just get out more here. But it's I'm still really learning the duck hunting here, and haven't gotten a boat yet. And here, unfortunately, is like if you don't have a boat, most of the time it is really hard. So like there's a couple spots I've been and you didn't need it, but the year before I was at a hunting club, and we had a couple spots where I could just park the truck and walk in there and go kill some birds. So it was unfortunate, but it wasn't. It is what it is. But that last hunt where I took my oldest, it was an afternoon hunt, and it was cool. Like when we pulled into the parking lot, like they're like a few hundred ducks, like pretty much all divers, got up from like right in front of the blind, and I was like, I was like, holy crap! Like they was not expecting that. So like we got some shots off, but it's
in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese, but now it's September and it's 85 degrees, and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable wader technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment.
Like if we'd been there that morning, it would have been a freaking show. But they wanted nothing to do with anything around us. Unfortunately, my oldest, she didn't get any shots off. We just, because she's still she's not shooting anything out of the air yet. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of frustrating. We had so much fun. We did knock one bird down, and as me and this guy with his dog were going to go try, and it was like directly across, and the water got kind of high. We're out there going after this bird in the grass, and he turns around and goes, "Hey, your daughter's in the water." I said, "What?" And I turned around. Well, this blind is like, I don't know, maybe like 2 feet off the water, and it's only like around the blind is only like knee high. But she wasn't paying attention, and like she had her gun, like she was ready, and I guess just like safety's on just for anybody out there. She went forward and just like head first into the water.
Oh my god!
And I was like, oh no! I was like, I got back there. I was like, man, my wife is gonna kill me. Luckily, it wasn't cold. Yeah, it wasn't cold. Like, and she was in and out, so she really didn't. She was wet, but she toughed it out. Like, it was only like another hour, I think, left in the hunt. But it was kind of funny. Definitely a learning experience. Like, I was like, you should probably pay attention. Probably pay attention where you're standing there, kiddo. Said, yeah. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so she's got a little break action 410 that it's a great little gun, but that's more of a turkey gun, which, man, those are her enemy.
Yeah.
Dude, I called in. We went in an afternoon, and I think it was probably a Friday afternoon after she got out of school, and the two properties that I'm leasing from my wife's uncle are, I think they're like 150 acres combined between the two, and they're like only like a quarter mile apart. And one of them is essentially a big power line. That's like most of the property. So like it starts with, we're going to go in one side because the birds have been on the other. I was like, we'll kind of sneak down to them. Well, we bump into two Jakes. I was like, crap. So I was like, well, all right, let's go back to the truck. Like, we're going to go back to the other side. And we start to come out on the power line, and I can see end up being three birds, like, I don't know, probably 300 yards down. And I said, I got her set up. Like, I kind of like low crawled. I put the decoy out, like, I don't know, 10, probably 15 yards as far as I could. Like, that's the only spot I could do it. I got her set up with our tripod. Like, we talked everything out. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to kind of go behind us. Like, I was going like 15 yards just so I could still be in the wood line and see farther down to see if there's anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do that, and I start calling. I'm calling like real loud to see if there's something, because the grass is kind of tall. And all of a sudden I see a freaking tom at like 60 yards, just like walking through the grass, like right at us. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Like, I was like, I can't move. And he's not making any noise. And I'm trying to get him to gobble. I'm like, I just let her know you're freaking there.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's getting closer and closer. And then he kind of just starts spitting a little bit, but won't gobble. And I'm like, she's got to know he's there now. Like,
yeah,
it's loud enough to where she can hear him. And he's just kind of like freaking bebopping along. And he probably gets to 20 yards. And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea what's going through her mind. Nothing. So he just kind of like comes kind of in and then goes back down to the other hens. And I go over to her, and she's a little shaken. I'm like, oh, clearly you saw him. He just wouldn't stop. Like, you know, I feel bad because she's by herself essentially.
And how old is she?
And she was 8. She's 9 now.
Oh, nice.
And so she's killed a couple ducks. She's killed a few deer. So it's not like it's her
pretty
first
damn
time.
good accomplishment at that age. I mean, my goodness.
Her first deer was a 7-point that, you know, she pretty much cried her way into getting mounted. So that was a hefty.
Good
Same
girl.
thing with her first duck. All worth it. But so I was like, all right, hey, well, we go back to the truck. We're gonna go check this other spot, and it's like all younger pines, and then on like the left side of the property, the right up, like on the road, the property line, there's a bunch of hardwoods that drops down into a swamp. And I'm like, hey, there's either going to be kind of something around here because I have plenty of birds on camera, or, or nothing. And then, we'll go home. So I call, nothing. And I got really aggressive, and I'm like, I just thought I heard a hen. And then sure enough, I'm like, all right. And then right behind her, I hear that distant gobble. I said, find that. I was like, get that tree, like sit down, like got her like threw gloves and mask on, got her mask on, sit her in between my legs. And by the time that happens, a hen pops up at like 30 yards to our left. I was like, oh crap. She comes out. She comes to 10 feet directly in front of us, like 10 feet. And I don't know what was going through her, but she like came out and then like stopped, turned around. I was like, crap, she's going to go back into the woods. Well, no, she circled around us, and she kind of did that like almost like a fly down cackle or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew she flew onto the road to my right. And I'm like, I obviously can't turn and look at her. And he's now like clear as day, like I can hear him. And now I can hear his footsteps, and he gobbled a few times, and I'm getting fired up. And then he's kind of quiet for probably only like 20 seconds. She goes, Dad, where is he? And like it's like he answered her, and it was like the freaking Thor's hammer coming down. And I said, I was right there. And he was, God. And he pops out. And this whole time I was thinking, I was like, I couldn't be in a better, like, this is what you dream of. You have a hen that is actively talking.
Right.
And I'm calling in between this Tom that is gobbling. I was like, you can't draw it up any better.
Mm-mm.
And he comes out at I think I paced it off at 12, 15, like 15 yards at max. I really don't think it was that. It was, in your lap. Like that 410's his head's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And I said, yawn him. And she goes, no. And like, I can feel her shaking. I said, like, I put her like finger on the trigger. I said, get on him. Like, let me know and I'll help you pull the trigger, which is like something we've worked through.
Sure.
And she just like, she fell apart. Like
completely
fell. And he just kind of just slowly makes his way down the hill and back into the woods. And I was like, oh, like she was upset. Like it means something to her.
Right.
But I was like,
well, she's trying to prove something to her daddy too. That's, every kid does, so.
She's going through that stage. It's hard to watch, like with deer too. Like she didn't pull a trigger last year for deer either, where it's weird because like when she first started, there was like no question about it. It was just like fucking send it.
Yes.
And like her first deer that she shot, it was like it was only like an 80 by like 60 yard little field surrounded by swamp. And we're sitting there, and I've got her rifle, and it's a 223 bolt action, and I've got one of the Bog Death Grip tripods, and so it's locked in there. It's like obviously like right on the corn pile, like that's where it's coming. Well, I look over her, I'm like, stop moving, and I look back out, and I go, oh, there's a buck. Like,
what's up, guys? If you want coffee that doesn't suck, you probably can guess what I'm going to say. Get the Duck. Dirty Duck Coffee is the official coffee of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor podcast, and they have a great lineup of different coffee blends, everything from Morning Wood and First Flight to Dark Dynasty and Suns Up, Guns Up. You can't go wrong with Dirty Duck Coffee. And they have a great lineup of cold brew cans, mocha, French vanilla, original cold brew, and cinnamon teal snickerdoodle. If you want 15% off your next order, use code OneHellOfALife15 on your next order.
Just like came out of freaking nowhere. And he obviously, for whatever reason, decides not to go to the corn pile. And I'm like, great. So now I just literally just kind of just turn the tripod in that direction. And we got over like, hey, this is where you put the crosshairs and all that good stuff. And he's moving around, and he kind of finally just kind of settles into a spot for a second. And I go, all right, hey. And she goes, Dad, I got him. I said, All right, kid. I
That's right.
reach over, I flip it off safe, and I'm like, whenever you're ready. She goes, all right, bam, and just whack. I was, oh damn, like
Wow.
and I was like dropped him, and obviously like it turned out she should have dead center in the freaking shoulder, like perfect.
Yeah.
And it obviously like broke his back. And he starts crawling towards the swamp, and I was like, I'm not taking a 6-year-old or whatever 5-year-old in the swamp as it's getting dark. I said, nope, cover your ears.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm putting another one in him, and like
Sure.
that was it. But like when she first started, it was just like that, where it was like, let's kill them all, Dad. So she's kind of going through it, which is I'm sure is some kind of maturity that the boys don't ever really seem to go through. We're just not that smart from the beginning.
Well, women are just they're years ahead, and they are. And I'm just seeing it with my daughter and Tristan. They just are. Even at a baby, I mean, when they're first born, even and if you've got a boy or a girl, you've seen it yourself as a parent. But the thing is that she's figuring out what what right looks like for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is fine. We all have a difference of opinion of what right looks like for me. Like opening day for me, what right looks like is a spike, bro. I'm shooting the spike. I am shooting the spike. I will do it. But for her, that's what she's doing, and that's a great maturity thing, I think. And
it's great for me though. Is my youngest, who's 7 and a half, whatever it is. For the longest time, I was like, I don't think she's ever going to care about any of this. So I started trapping back in. I got my first set of traps for Christmas, and so she'd come with me checking traps. And so she was like, "I'll shoot him." It was whatever, a coon, or her first thing she shot was a bobcat. And so she was like, I'll do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like this is coming out of left field. And then she like progressively was like, I want to hunt. I want to deer hunt. So I've taken her out one time already this year because our season started on the 15th.
Man, that's right. You guys have like in South Carolina, you go through like February too, right?
Nah, January 1st. So it starts really. Okay. I wish they would just push it back where it's like, dude, it's August 15th, and then September 15th when we can start shooting does.
Gotcha.
But so yeah, she's all about it. So it's I'm pretty confident she can get her first one because I have that same tripod where I can lock it in there, and so she was practicing like getting behind it and finding stuff. So it was cool to see. So I'm hoping that she'll kind of bridge that gap where it's like Maldus will kind of be like, all right, Dad, like I'm ready again. So
right.
Well, she still loves to go, but it just one of those little growing pains that we all go through.
Sure.
That's great stuff, man.
Ryan, I was just sitting here thinking about, there's no way we can get through this podcast tonight with one of the most important things. And I think that is like, if somebody walks up to you, I'm just going to put you in this position. Somebody walks up to you at the show and says, hey man, I'm Tony. I'm trying to figure out what you guys are all about. Why is it worth it? Can you kind of just speak to that from like, it's so truth and reality. I think it just paints such a real easy picture of why. What's the benefit of me getting a bag from Pattern Pros versus going in and wasting my money?
Well, you're going to kill more ducks and you're going to prevent crippled ducks. So if you enjoy wasting time, ammo, and sleep, go ahead, just keep sucking at doing whatever you're doing.
I love it.
So it's funny, like people come over like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, so do you pattern your gun? Like, well, no. And I'm like, so you just enjoy sucking and missing and missing ducks?
Does that sound like Mario?
And so they're just like, they kind of have that dumbfounded look on their face. But I'm like, well, it just, it is what it is. And some people, they've got it figured out. They've got it dialed in and whatever. And I'm never going to say that to be, a true asshole necessarily.
Right.
I think I'm just kind of at that point in my life where I'm just going to kind of say stuff. My wife a lot of times like, you can't say that. I'm like, I'm going to say
Bill Burr talks a lot about that. He does. He goes, you get to a certain point in your life where you're just like, F it. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's honestly like where I'm at. So it's but I tell people, I'm like, well, you spent, $1,000 on your shotgun. You spent, $1,000 on your freaking calls and $1,000 on your waders and $20,000 on your waders. But the thing that actually matters most, you don't know what's happening. And I don't care what shell you shoot. Every single shell company
What a great point.
we work with it, which is every single manufacturer. I'm like, I'm never going to push one shell more than the other. I don't care. They just go out there. I just want them to be the most efficient hunter that they possibly can. Yeah. So I'm like, you do all these other things, go out there in the freaking summer or hell, I mean, a week before the season, whatever, and just go find whatever your gun likes.
Yeah.
And then go shoot more ducks. You're going out. You're going out there to shoot. If you're not, just take your damn calls and call for your buddies. Like, it's just like you are just going to be more effective. You're going to be more effective in every aspect of it. You're going to have a better time because unless you do and just enjoy shooting and missing.
Right. Well, and just look at it from. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just from the financial standpoint, you're the average Joe, and you're going out and you're spending. I mean, I would say a middle of the road price across the boards. You're going to pay $25 to $32 for a decent shell, and so you're going out and you're buying those multiple brands, and you have to buy a whole box, right? So, from a financial perspective, it just leaves you with all these shells that you don't prefer, or you don't like, or whatever, But the fact that you guys can just make that so financially feasible,
well, it's like, and I tell people, I'm like, yeah, all right, it's a little bit of an investment up front. So like our regular box is $64.99. Our premium box, which is pretty much all bismuth, is $74.99. But I'm like, well, for bismuth, you can't try more than one box of bismuth for that. You're going to pay $80 some to try two different boxes plus whatever shipping is going to be.
Right.
I was like, you can't really try more than 2 boxes of shells most of the time for that price, let alone 8. But you find out what actually works, and now it's kind of back to what we was talking about earlier, was you're shooting less. So I spent a little money up front, but now I'm only shooting once or twice compared to 2, 3, 4 times. So immediately you're just saving yourself money.
Right.
And it's like, it's the more I do it, it's like there's so many other added benefits where it's like, hey, if you're out chasing a crippled or your duck's out chasing a cripple, how many times have you or your duck or your buddy flared birds because they're out there freaking chasing a bird? I'm like, there's just so many other little things, and people are always talking about either bird numbers are down or everybody around me is a freaking idiot, which sometimes is the case. But I'm like, you can just be that much better. And it doesn't, with 2 hours at most for one day, plus you're going to go get some trigger time in. If that's, what are you going to do between the end of snow goose season and teal season? I don't know when is snow goose ends in what? March,
yeah.
May. I mean, it's pretty much done by then, depending on where you're at.
So, all right, let's just say at minimum you have 5 months. Like, go spend 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no.
Chances are you're going to spend more in gas money and freaking gas station burritos and energy drinks than you will on this. And it's like, it has nothing to do with the money. Duck hunters are going to shell out money.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't like. Hell, even if you don't go buy a box, just go freaking put a shell on paper. Don't do it at 10 yards and be an idiot. But don't like if you've only got that. Yeah, you're like, oh man, my pattern's great. It's like, dude, you shot a slug. But like, people ask me, well, out of those 24 shells or 8 brands or whatever it is, like, how do you know which one's going to be best? Well, it's like at your 20 yard. You're going to have a lot of, for the most part, most patterns are going to be decent. You will have a couple that you're like, immediately you're like, I don't like, that's not going to be a contender. Like it is what it is. You get to the 30-yard, and then you've got a couple more that you're like, you fell off. And then you get back to the 40-yard line, and you probably have like 4 shells that are what I call, contenders at that point. And then you're probably going to walk away from the 40-yard line with 2 or 3 shells that are your top ones. And then when I'm trying to really break it down and draw your 30-inch circle and, actually count hit percentages, that's when I do it. But you don't have to count every single freaking one that you want. And then the other thing I tell people is pattern on something that's bigger than a freaking piece of printer paper. Like,
Right.
so like our targets are 3 foot by 3 foot brown craft paper. It really shows you that full pattern. So it's just like, I don't know if people are lazy about it, or I think there's some laziness, and there's some people that are kind of naive with it, and they all think they're all the same, or people are like, well, why would I buy the expensive stuff? Like, just buy the cheap stuff. And heck, the cheap stuff shoots fine a lot of the time. So you don't have to spend money on a shell necessarily to actually find the best pattern. But it is just all about knowing what's actually going to happen when you pull the trigger.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, there's something to the whole bismuth thing and having more, or the copper plated with like Boss, there's something to having that like oomph, to it. But like, to your point, I mean, if you take the $14 to $20 box of shells and you try all of those, there's going to be one that's going to have the most amount of, pellets. And ultimately, it doesn't really matter. If you're putting pellets on the bird, it's going to kill the bird, ultimately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing with, like, the kinetic energy of, like, shooting a heavier arrow, and your poundage with your bow. It's like, okay, you could shoot. Did we lose you, Ryan?
We're back because Ryan messed it all up.
That sounds about
Ryan.
right.
Freaking Ryan. There's always a Ryan in the group.
It's because I ran out of whiskey.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that's
There it
a
is.
problem. For real.
So you guys got some exciting stuff coming up, huh?
Yeah, buddy. So, for anybody watching, we have
Uh-oh. From the mystery box.
the mystery box. I'll just put 2 up there. But for anybody who likes to hunt the old rooster, we are coming out
Uh-oh.
with it's going to be an upland box. So the first edition of it is going to be it's going to be pheasant loads. So it's going to be all number 5s, 2 3/4 inch shells. The only non number 5 is actually going to be the Migra stacked 4s and 6s.
Okay.
So that will be coming out shortly. We're just kind of waiting to hear back from our box design guy. And I don't know if it'll happen this year at the same time, but a dove edition
Ooh.
or a dove box will be the same. So it'll be just an upland box. It'll have all the same design on there. Just one of them will be obviously designed for pheasant. The other one will be for dove. So that's exciting. Can't wait for that. But the thing that is going to be the most challenging, but I think will yield the most interest, is actually going to be a choke tube rental box.
Ooh.
So, yes.
Oh, dude.
That's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
So it's definitely got some challenges that we gotta work a couple things out. But I already have 3 choke tube companies that are already they're already on board. I've already got choke tubes from actually I have choke tubes from all 3 of them. So it's gonna be, we'll send you 3 choke tubes with the same constriction. They're all gonna be a modified choke for waterfowl to start, and it'll be we'll send you these 3. They're obviously, there's gonna be like a rental fee. Just that's the way of life. we'll send you these 3. We'll give you a chance to shoot all 3 of them. We'll give you roughly a week or so, I think, is what we've kind of got down to. So you go shoot all 3, whatever one you like best. You can go ahead and just buy straight from us. We'll give you a 10% off the discount.
Awesome.
And then the shipping, ideally, it's going to work out this way. The shipping will be included to and from. So there's not like hey, I have to go to the freaking post office and pay
like
another
a return label or something.
Yeah. So it'll all be done at one time. But I saw a need for this. I started to come up with this idea last year and really work through some stuff. But I see it on Facebook all the time where people are selling choke tubes. And I'm like, well, they obviously they didn't like that one, or they got another choke tube that they liked more. Well, it's what? All right. So they're out money. Whether they shot that thing one freaking time, as soon as you bought it, it's whether you can say, hey, it was, it's never been opened. No one's going to buy it for the same. They're not going to buy it brand new. So I'm like, this gives you the chance to shoot, several $100s worth of choke tubes without that risk. So
it was sick concept.
So the first 3 that I've got for right now are Trulock, Carlson's, and Muller.
Nice.
So I'm really excited about it. It was funny. Christian this whole time has been kind of not kind of skeptical, like, hey, how are we going to make money? How is this? And it was just a back and forth, us cussing at each other, which is just normal.
Problem solving.
Yeah, exactly. But that whole, we drove to and from obviously Delta with all our stuff. So that whole 16-hour drive there was a lot of talk about it. Well, I obviously talked with hundreds of people about the idea at the Delta show, and it was overwhelming. Like, this is like, I want to do this now.
That's awesome.
And that is so cool.
It was on the way back. It was like completely different tune. It was like, all right, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? Right. So it was cool. And it's frustrating, but it's awesome. Is our brains work completely different. He'll be doing something like, why the hell? What do you like? And then he'll kind of like explain it. I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. So it ends up working out really well. But the choke tube stuff is going to be exciting. And so going to hopefully get that out real soon. We're working on our new website, which is going to allow things to work a lot smoother. Because as of right now, just with the way a payment processor and with our platform, we can do it, but essentially we'd have to issue a return. So if someone, the way I've looked at it, I'm like, all right, well, if you want to put, $400 on your credit card, and then whenever, you send us back, we just refund you that. And I'm like, well, honestly, guys who go out there and put in draws for elk and out-of-state tags, they're doing that same crap every single year.
Right, that's true.
You do it every time you book a hotel.
Yeah, a million guys
a
are
rental
out there who are out there trying to get freaking elk tags and mule deer tags and pronghorn and bighorn and all that stuff. And for a lot of those, what those guys do is they put their credit card down. Essentially, it's got $1,000 or whatever the heck that tag is, and then they get refunded. Or say, hey, dude, my card got hit today, and now they're like, now they got to go tell their wives, hey, that $1,000, like, not only are we not getting that back, but I get to go on an elk hunt now.
No, but seriously, if you spend $100 at Enterprise, they always tell you, like, I think it's $350. They said you'll get this back upon return, but it's just a security. That's all it is.
Exactly. So
if you're speaking true to your word and you're going to return it like you're supposed to, then you shouldn't have a bitch about it. Honestly, the only people that should bitch about it are people that are trying to get a fast one. I mean, honestly.
Well, and you know what? If you want to try and pull a fast one, go ahead. You've just bought all 3 choke tubes.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
You'll have bought all 3 choke tubes for a retail price plus the rental fee. So if you want to go do that, I mean, and just do it on purpose and go ahead and be my
Maximize your
guest.
profits.
But so I am like I am stoked for that. Like
That's awesome.
the looks on people's faces that I was getting at the show, and we did another show a couple weeks ago in North Carolina. It was like one guy came up to us like the next day. It was like, this is like, he's like, I want to do this right now. Like, when is this going to be available? So I was like it's coming. So I think our box guy's got the design for that box and the Upland box. So that's coming. And then ideally early next year, rifle ammunition is coming as well.
That's
Wow.
awesome, man.
That's so cool.
So it's in this next 8 months, 9, like the things are going to look drastically different in a really, really good way. So I can't wait. And like, we're starting this choke tube stuff with waterfowl. And I think it'll do really well, but I know the freaking sickos that are turkey hunters are going to be like drooling over it, because they're just like,
dude, no, that seems like to me, man. I mean, like, you want that one shot to be great for a turkey shot, and for you to be that confident, I think that's awesome. I mean, that is so awesome.
So, and then people who also they resell them, they resell those choke tubes, but there's a ton of people that they're like, dude, I got 20 choke tubes at home. Like, they just
Wild.
they just sitting there. It's just like that box of shells that didn't pattern good for you. It's just wasted money. It's just, you're never getting any of that back. So it's like, this is going to prevent that kind of waste where it's like, I don't have to do that. I bought these choke tubes and I actually got to test them out before I shot them. And then you get a roll with it. So it's like, I keep saying it, but I'm really excited. We got just some freaking awesome stuff coming out. Oh, and then I think one of the coolest things, non-shooting related, is our new shirts.
Oh,
So-
dude, yeah. I was gonna say those look
at
sick.
that.
So I'm trying to put that. It says, "Don't lose your head," and he's got it holding the mallard with his head no longer there.
Yes, that's some good Marine Corps stuff right there.
So yeah, so that was.
Hey, I meant to tell hey, Ryan, before I've been holding on to this for a while, and when you said something about trapping, I just I can't trap because I don't have a mustache to trap. Like, I feel like you have to have a strong mustache like you do to be like mountain men.
Yeah, mountain man vibe. Yeah.
Image, yeah, dude. Like, I feel like you're not faking me out for running into you in academy. Be like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a trapper. And I'll be like, no doubt about that. Dude's a trapper.
He's just mysterious enough.
Right, but if you ran into Tristan and he's like, what do you do for a living? He's like, I'm a trapper. You'd be like,
Nah, there's no way.
No.
I was gonna say an OnlyFans model, but
Let's go.
I guess that's a compliment.
Yeah,
somebody,
that's right.
somebody once.
You're a beautiful man.
Somebody once said, "Oh God, it was the Tony. I know you remember the old Cornelius, Yukon Cornelius or something like that."
Yes.
From the Rudolph.
Rudolph. Like they said, I looked like him.
Yes, dude. We actually have a video where our buddy Drew looks so much like him that Tristan did. You might have to pull that up, Tristan. That we did. Like, I'm like, Drew, you look just like this guy, and it had everybody rolling at the campsite. It was awesome.
But,
Totally agree.
So, speaking of trapping, so it was kind of cool. I know we're kind of running out of time, but
No, you good.
So I started trapping, and it's been so cool to actually see the proof in the freaking pudding. The amount of poults that I had hatched this year, like, that are still running around now, is unbelievable.
No
Like,
kidding.
I used to have like 4 or 5 coons every single night on a feeder. Now there's almost none, like almost at all. Like, I got rid of
Wow.
like pretty much all of the possums, I got rid of, I probably got rid of 30 plus coons, 30 or 40
Wow.
coons. I got rid of 3 bobcats, 1 coyote, and it was when I started doing it. I remember texting my buddies. I was like, "That's got to equal like 1 more turkey, right? Like I got rid of all of those. It's got to be 1
Yeah,
more
for
bird."
sure.
And now I see them all the time, all like living on those properties, and I'm like, it is like that kind of stuff right there is for me is like the conservation side of it. Like I know I'm not going to get rid of all the freaking coons, and I don't want to, but in my little area, it's kind of given. It almost feels like a little bit of a sanctuary and is giving them a better chance. So I'm like, I love to see all of those animals on the landscape, but you're damn sure I want to see more freaking turkeys and deer running
That's
around
right.
than I do them. So
Yeah,
if you get to trapping, like I promise you do it hard, it really pays dividends. And it's a lot of fun too.
Hey guys, so hope you enjoyed that podcast with Ryan from Pattern Pros. So, listener question of the week: Tony's got one of these magical shirts on from Refuge Graphics. Shout out to Hunter Greer. He
go.
hooked us up with these T-shirts that we're giving out along with a little bit of our merch for the people that put in a question when we put out the prompts, and we pick one, and we throw it on the podcast. So. And you get a shout out and all that good stuff, and then we send some merch on your way. So the question we have this week comes from Carter Bryant, Mississippi River Ducks. If you guys have seen him on Instagram or on TikTok, he's a pretty cool follow. Does a lot of drone work with like his farm stuff, and showing really what the day-to-day is like running a duck hunting operation. But his question is, what has been negatively affecting ducks migrating south? The weather, the food sources, a blind in every duck hole south of the Mason-Dixon line. Something's happening, and surely as hunters can make a positive change in the controllable negative reasons. So I think that's a really awesome question, and we've been fortunate enough to have some really cool people on the podcast that all we can kind of do is echo the stuff we've heard. But I think, factually, and I think that we can answer this question pretty well. So Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, you guys. Number one, I will tell you right now with this question, Carter, you're included. Podcast we had with Hugh Dane Weatherford.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Dane is 80s, I think.
I don't know if he's not quite that old.
Yeah, well, he's been around a minute.
Yeah, he
way
guided
longer than we
ducks
have.
for what, 38 years?
Yeah, 38 years guide. He's been in Northeast Arkansas all of his life. He's seen it all. I mean, he has seen it all.
Farmed.
He's been a farmer. I mean, he has seen it all. And one of the interesting points, we talked about this on that podcast, and one of the most interesting points that I got learned on that day was implements have changed.
Yeah.
Farming equipment has changed. There is a dramatic, and he claims it's fact, there is a dramatic difference in the amount of food that we're leaving versus what there was.
Yeah.
I mean, a dramatic difference, you guys. If we don't have the facts right here, I mean, he might have talked a little bit about that and gave it a little bit more clarification on it, but that's one of the biggest things, y'all, is that there's just not as much food being left. And then there's some things I still think that we're all trying to figure out, even from a biological level, scientists, we're all trying to figure out, like, is this a shift because of the weather? It's so easy to blame it on, well, this outfitter got 10,000 acres next to me and took all the ducks away. Or I'm on this Arkansas public land and there's too many hunters here. It's so easy to blame it on that, y'all. It really is. But if you look at it full scope, like we've been able to with some of these professionals, especially like people like Brad Cohen, that provide you factual data on going into a refuge, going in there and shooting off blanks and blowing every duck out of there and they come right back. There's a lot of ways you can point the finger, but I think to fully answer your question, man, that's the leading one right there, is that has made a significant difference. Two, I think we're still processing.
Well, and I would say too, like, the landscape has changed so much you talk to old timers that have been around anywhere in the Mississippi Flyway, and just from the agricultural landscape has changed so much in terms of like the amount of fields that are planted. You know what I mean? So there is so much food dispersed.
Yeah, in the
it's
80s, there was no snow geese in northeast Arkansas.
So there's so much food dispersed. So it's like you got to think the ducks have so much more to go, so many areas to go. And like, you know, I know Carter mentioned, you know, a duck pit, you know, everywhere south of the Mason-Dixon line. And, you know, there really is so many flooded fields and so many, so part of it's that there's so many places for them to go. But, you know, on the flip side of that coin, it's not a bad thing to have a lot of area for ducks, you know, whether that be private, public, refuge, whatever it might be, because ultimately the more habitat that you have that's viable for ducks, the more ducks that are going to be in the area and the more opportunity you're going to have to shoot them. It's definitely a lot to consider. Like, I almost don't even, the weather, you know, it almost makes you think sometimes like how much the weather has to do with it. I almost feel like the weather doesn't have as much to do with it as people think. I think it has more to do with the agricultural landscape, the pressure, things like that, more so than the weather and the amount of ducks coming down.
Yeah, no, and I just think a lot of the species are still figuring it out. Just like we've watched pintails come back, I've watched it happen over the last 5 years, is the numbers are up with pintails because they're one of the few species that if they can't breed and lay eggs where they did the year before, they just might not.
You mean they're down?
They're down. No, they were down.
Yeah.
This year they went up. And I'm saying that's a result of 3 to 5 years ago of this special species is got to find just this right place. And if it's not available next year, they might not, you know, so they actually, you could talk to anybody that talks about pintails, they shifted their migration some and they found the water, and now we're seeing the results of that. And I think that we're still just processing and figuring things out in this Mississippi Flyway and the Central Flyway. I think that the animals themselves are still figuring it out.
Yeah.
You know, because this landscape is changing every day. Every day you got, you know, a solar, some farm used to be where ducks have been going for 25 years is now a solar farm that's 500 acres. You know, I mean, you want to talk, don't even get me started on solar farms. But anyway, but Carter, I think that's the best way to answer your question. And I'm intrigued to continue that conversation with more people that have professional data to show shifts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we'd love to hear y'all's 2 cents on the conversation, because obviously there's multiple factors that are going into this, and I don't know if there's really any wrong answer, you know, because there's a lot of different things affecting this. So if y'all are listening to this, drop us a question, whether it be on YouTube or wherever, Spotify, and or on our Instagram. Shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from you, and be on the lookout for the next time we do our you know, the listener question of the week, and be sure to drop in some questions. That was a great one, Carter.
Yep.
Check out Mississippi River Ducks. We're gonna have some merch heading out to you, and we're gonna go watch some Monday Night Football.
Go anybody but Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm a Jaguars fan, so you know that's tough. But hey, if you guys are listening to this, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, all that good stuff, we really appreciate it. And yeah, it's one hell of a life.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.